Okay, I think at this point, people understand that sometimes I have issues with our language and, our lack of ability to adequately describe or agree upon what words actually mean. So herein lies the way I define things and why I have issues with certain words, especially words that we have gotten so attached to as the most important, right? The key of those, the biggest one I've probably talked about the most is happiness. I think happiness is the biggest waste of fucking time ever. And it's this bill we've been sold so that we continue to choose easy, convenient, and comfortable. None of which advance us as an individual. They keep us complacent. They put us in a situation where we watch a lot of Netflix, we eat a lot of donuts, and we don't do the things that actually move us forward, which is effort, which is work, which is suffering, which is pain. We act like those things are bad. We act like sadness is bad, that anger is bad, that suffering is bad, that pain is bad. None of which is true, right? Like, it's just not, right? You are in pain after a workout from time to time. There's discomfort there. And that leads you to be stronger. Stronger leads you to be more able to deal with things. But the thing stronger also does is it makes you less easy to manage from a simplistic standpoint. So Andy Frisella talks a lot about how we win the macro is by winning the micro. And I firmly believe in that. And one of those things is to give up on happiness and focus more on joy, because joy becomes long term. Right? My daughter brings me a ton of joy. She'll always bring me a ton of happiness. In the short term, there's a lot of days that get pretty tough, but man, looking at her going to grade 1 right now brings me a ton of joy. It's deeper than happiness in my eyes. So I think happiness is the precursor to joy. There needs to be a bit of happiness. We need to see results. But the more you can separate yourself from those results, the more joy you are going to have in your life, and the more joy I have had in my life. Over the last 4 or 5 years, I've spent more time suffering than most people, and I would say I'm a lot happier than a lot of people at this point, on a day-to-day basis, because I worry less about it. I'm not chasing it. The other word I have a major issue with is empathy. I think we've overused empathy, and I think we haven't defined it well enough. I believe empathy is knowing, right? I feel bad for that person. It is a feeling. And what we need to do is move that to compassion. So what's compassion? Compassion is empathy in action, right? And if we know anything, can you think something into existence? Not really, right? Yeah, sure, abundance mindset, all this stuff is great, but it don't matter how hard you think if you don't do, right? You have to bring it into existence. You don't just think it into existence. And I believe compassion, of all things, is the thing that our world needs more than ever, because it requires, a bit of separation from the situation. We've created all this divisiveness based on empathy. Right? Oh, I can feel for them. It makes me so angry. And then I hate this other group. But when you move to compassion, you realize, okay, that sucks. That's really shitty, but why is this other person doing it to them, right? You have to have empathy for all things. If we want to eliminate divisiveness, we can't cut off a section of people because we don't agree with them. We have to try to understand. We have to get on the same side of the table, and that requires compassion. There is not enough empathy in the world for us to know that we need to feel that way. We have to do it, right? And doing it when it's hard is actually doing it. Right? We can all have empathy for the people that feel the same way, that act the same way, that believe the same things that we do. Real empathy and then real compassion is doing it for people you don't agree with, right? It's loving those that you would rather hate, that it would be much easier to hate. And that's one of the simplest things to do, is make the hard decision, right? Whatever is harder, probably going to work out better for you long term. So those 2 words are the big ones for me. Yeah, I'm interested to know what people think, if this resonates, and if you think I'm way off base, because I might be way off base. So get out there, go do something. You know, we can think till we're blue in the face, but if we ain't doing anything about it, we ain't doing anything. So go win your day.